WGAN Forum Podcast number 46. Monday, January 31, 2022.
This WGAN Forum podcast is sponsored by the We Get Around Network Forum, your source for Matterport and related 3D and 360 platforms, cameras, and third-party add-ons. Visit WGANforum.com.
Why Matterport will build and sell a Leica BLK360 clone for less than $7,500. Commentary and analysis by Dan Smigrod, founder and managing editor. We Get Around Network Forum. WGAN-TV live at 5. WGAN-TV training you in Matterport. Every Matterport media release begins with the statement, Matterport, Incorporated. The leading spatial data company driving the digital transformation of the built world. Yet, the Matterport vision is hard to live up to when its flagship capture solution, the Matterport Pro2 3D camera, falls short delivering on the Matterport spatial data promise. For example, the Matterport Pro2 3D camera infrared technology cannot create 1. Spatial data of outdoor exterior building fascias. 2. Spatial data of high ceilings more than a couple stories tall. 3. Spatial data with the level of detail, LOD, needed for many commercial real estate spaces and AEC use cases. And, while the Leica BLK360 LiDAR scanner, paired with the Matterport Capture app, does all of the above, its $18,000 price point is simply too high and capturing spatial data too slow to create a nationwide network, let alone a worldwide network, of Matterport service providers, MSP, with the necessary gear required for scanning much of the built world. That's a big problem for Matterport. Given Matterport's ambitious plans for its Matterport Capture Services on-demand program now in 152 cities among 7 countries, I could imagine Matterport is missing a massive number of opportunities because its network of trained and certified capture technicians cannot afford an essential tool for capturing spatial data of large commercial spaces, including building exterior fascias, with high ceiling with the LOD required, for example, for 1. As-builts, the first step in documenting the life cycle of a to-be-renovated commercial space. 2. Construction documentation to compare to a BIM model. 3. Critical measurements. In addition to Matterport Capture Services on Demand, I could imagine companies such as IFT Provision Solutions, which offers Matterport scanning at scale across the United States for as-builts, construction progress documentation, and facilities management, SnapR for enterprise, and other companies that provide Matterport on-demand services, have the same challenge of sourcing a network of Matterport service providers that own, or are willing to rent, a Leica BLK360 LiDAR scanner. For example, in the last few months, I noticed a pain point, opportunity, for IFT Provision Solutions. A significant uptick in IFT Provision Solutions help wanted posts in the We Get Around Network Forum specifically for Matterport service providers that use a Leica BLK360 for scanning large commercial spaces. This data point helps provide insight that the demand is there for capturing spatial data at scale of commercial spaces, but the barriers are likely the price point and speed of capture of the Leica BLK360 for Matterport service providers that are likely undercapitalized solopreneurs. Additional Matterport puzzle pieces revealing the huge value of spatial data include Matterport media releases announcing 1. Matterport completes acquisition of Enview, Property Insights and Analytics. 2. Matterport announces investment in digitization tech company SimLab to accelerate building design, construction, and management. 3. Matterport delivers new and innovative solutions for the built world with AWS. 4. Matterport VP to drive digital twin adoption across government agencies. 5. Matterport plans to scale via acquisitions, partnerships, and investments. Unlike Leica that likely needs to make a profit on every BLK360 LiDAR scanner sold, I could imagine that Matterport is uniquely positioned to offer a Leica BLK360 clone at cost, or below cost, because Matterport has additional flywheel revenue stream opportunities from scanning spaces, including 1. Services, Matterport Capture Services on Demand and Matterport for Enterprise. 2. Recurring revenue, cloud hosting. 3. Licensing, Matterport Partner Program, usage of Matterport API and SDK. 4. Add-ons, Matterpack, BIM file, floor plans and TruePlan for Xactimate. 5. Plugins, Revit plugin for Matterport, Procore integration, adding value in the AEC space. While Matterport may brand it differently, I will refer to the BLK360 clone as the Matterport Pro2 LiDAR 3D camera, or Pro3 LiDAR for short. Matterport migration from virtual tour company to digital twin, spatial data company. As San Francisco Bay Area Hopscotch Interactive founder Emily Ullman recently pointed out on WGAN-TV Live at 5 when discussing her Matterport timeline, 2014 to present, Matterport has moved from promoting itself as a virtual tour company to a digital twin, spatial data company. Spatial data collected is overkill for residential listings, says Ullman, where 360 virtual tours created by real estate photographers can compete with Matterport based on pricing, resulting from the speed of 360 capture without the need for spatial data. We only use 10% of the spatial data in the virtual tour, and the rest of it's lost and thrown out and actually very disinterested for the realtor, and so that's why I think that other virtual tours, that just if a client just needs a virtual tour, they don't need to be asking for Matterport, but yet they do, said Ullman. There's all this stuff, and that's why I would say Matterport had become very much the standard over the pandemic, and over the last several years, but I think that the dollhouse and the 3D data that we get is ultimately more valuable for Matterport than it really is for the realtor. While Matterport was the only platform and 3D camera solution of its kind when it launched its Matterport Pro2 3D camera in 2014, today Matterport faces multiple 3D and 360 virtual tour platforms and software competitors in residential real estate such as 1. Asteroom, 2. iSpy 360, 3. Giraffe 360, 4. iGuide, 5. Inside Maps, 6. Material Stage, 7. Nodal View, 8. Pivo Real Estate, 9. Rico 360 Tours, 10. Tourbuzz, Urban Immersive, 11. Zillow 3D Home. Despite being the leading virtual tour brand in residential real estate, this will devolve in the long term, thus, Matterport marketing focuses on the future, digital twins, spatial data company, rather than a virtual tour company for residential real estate. And, while I would argue that in the future Matterport should exit the camera business entirely, if it is going to deliver on the promise of the leading spatial data company driving the digital transformation of the built world, Matterport must build and sell a Pro2 LiDAR for less than $7,500, so that it is not dependent on camera or scanner companies offering solutions at a mass adoption price point and focus on Matterport use cases that fully leverage spatial data. Why less than $7,500 for a Matterport Pro2 LiDAR 3D camera? At the very least, Matterport needs to be able to say, less than half the cost of, with the same or better features than, for capturing spatial data. Half the cost of a Leica BLK360 would be $9,000. That still seems too high for mass adoption. Even if Matterport service providers will likely earn significantly more for Matterport models created with a Leica BLK360 LiDAR scanner, or a Matterport Pro2 LiDAR, that is at less half the price of a BLK360, it will still be a hard sell by Matterport to get Matterport service providers to invest in a several $1,000 proprietary camera scanner than only be used with the Matterport platform. I could imagine that as Matterport Capture Services on Demand has commercial projects that require a BLK360 or similar capture solution, that will motivate Matterport to provide financial incentives to select Matterport service providers, its trained and certified capture technicians, such as 1. Much higher revenue per job. 2. Bonus payments to help pay off the BLK360 or Pro2 LiDAR investment. 3. Guaranteed commitment of scanning business from Matterport. 4. Lower price than publicly promoted for a Leica BLK360 or Pro2 LiDAR. 5. Bonus for completion of X square feet of Matterport capture services on-demand originated scanning jobs using a BLK360 or Pro2 LiDAR. 6. A lease to purchase option. 7. A combination of these incentives. Interestingly, these targeted financial incentives will likely favor the Matterport capture services on-demand jobs at the expense of dozens of companies such as IFT Provision Solutions and the SnapR for Enterprise program that offer Matterport scanning services at scale. Thus, Matterport will continue to compete directly with some Matterport service provider agency clients. 1. On price of providing scanning services. 2. Offering commercial-grade spatial data at scale. 3. Offering a Pro2 LiDAR camera scanner at below-market pricing for its scanning techs. While it is obvious to me that Matterport must sell a Leica BLK360 clone for less than $7,500 Pro2 LiDAR, that still leaves Matterport facing competition for 1. Speed of capture of spatial data capture. 1a. Reduce the cost of labor for the capture of spatial data. 1b. Enable daily or weekly construction documentation, rather than monthly. 2. Size of digital twins. 3. Even higher level of detail, LOD. The single highest cost of capturing spatial data is not the camera, it's the cost of labor to operate the camera. If you conclude that general contractors of large commercial spaces will want weekly construction progress documentation to compare to their BIM models, two Matterport impediments today are: 1. Moving a tripod from point to capture each scan, spin of the camera. 2. Matterport digital twin model size, either because of the processing speed of the capture device or storage of an Apple iPad or Android tablet. Matterport competitors in the AEC space that have solved spatial data speed of capture and limitation of digital twin model size challenges are: 1. Cupix with their HelmetCam solution paired with a 360 camera and using photogrammetry and videogrammetry. 2. NavVis VLX wearable mapping system, a 2 LiDAR sensor backfront pack wearable. PropTech Consulting founder Jonathan Klein writes at length in the We Get Around Network forum, www.wganforum.com, about Matterport competing scanning technologies, 3D 360 platform software and 3D 360 cameras in his post, Revolutionizing Real Estate, How Mobile 3D LiDAR Will Change the Industry. Looking beyond 2022. On September 7, 2021, Leica announced two next-generation scanning solutions at scale. 1. Leica BLK ARC, Autonomous Reality Capture for Robots, Spot. 2. Leica BLK2 Fly, Autonomous Reality Capture Drone. These two autonomous LiDAR speed of capture solutions show us the future today, with the only barrier being mega price. I could imagine that these two Leica solutions are both a threat and an opportunity for Matterport for scanning large commercial real estate and AEC spaces, including tall outdoor building fascias. To help make sense of this future, WGAN-TV Live at 5 shows in the second quarter of 2022 will feature Leica subject matter experts on the Leica BLK ARC and BLK2 Fly spatial data capture solutions, including features, benefits, and use cases. Please see the WGAN-TV schedule in the We Get Around Network forum for air dates. In the meantime, I would be surprised if we don't see a Matterport media release in the second or third quarter of 2022 announcing a Matterport Pro2 LiDAR 3D camera for less than $7,500. It is essential that Matterport build and sell a Leica BLK360 clone under $7,500 that addresses these existing Matterport challenges in the commercial space. 1. Spatial data of outdoor exterior building fascias. 2. Spatial data of high ceilings more than a couple stories tall. 3. Spatial data with the level of detail, LOD, needed for many commercial real estate spaces and AEC use cases. A bonus for this Matterport LiDAR scanner camera would be if Matterport also solves these challenges. 1. Speed of spatial data capture. 2. Limitation of model size. 3. Even higher level of detail, LOD, from competitors. What do you think? Will Matterport build, create and announce a Matterport Pro2 LiDAR 3D camera for less than $7,500 or instead, introduce a Matterport Pro2 3D camera with incremental improvements in scanning spatial data? Join the discussion at www.wganforum.com in the discussion. Why Matterport will build and sell a Leica BLK360 clone for less than $7,500.